both looked like just
I think
intense.
is that last year's ratings?
2013?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Is this current?
Yeah, maybe it is a typo.
Yeah. Yeah. I think. Yeah. That looks like last year's final ranking, I believe.
Yeah,
'Cause,
2012 and 13
yeah,
next to each other.
Because Ben's got to win, Jeff's got to win, Omri's got to win.
So
like
those
all
guys
three of
should all be
those
top
guys,
three.
yeah, all three of those guys are in contention, pretty much. Here's Ryan Hardy and Jake Stone. They'll be getting ready for their heat pretty soon. And yeah, so getting back to the title race, I mean, this event is imperative. Like, if one of those three guys was to win this event, it's going to put them in a really good position.
Yeah, would you say this is the event, like it kind of turns the
yeah,
corner
absolutely.
for these guys?
This is the key event for these guys. And anyone else who wants to get into the race. I mean, it's potentially, if someone like a Pierre or a Jerry or, gosh, even like myself, if I got in there and was to take this thing out, it would be like, oh, this guy's right back in the race. So, yeah, anything's possible for the rest of this year. And you know, whoever will end up at the end, you know, world champ. This event is absolutely imperative.
And the waves are, like we said, we have today, Friday, Saturday, Sunday left to run the event in our contest window here arranged with the government in Arica. And we have about 3 half days that we need to run. And just so you guys know, the swell forecast is for the waves to get even bigger tomorrow. So the decision was made to try to run a half a day today, maybe not run tomorrow and then run again Saturday and Sunday. That's what I would think would be the plan.
Tomorrow might actually be too big. It might just be maxed out over here. It's supposed to be the biggest of the swell tomorrow morning, right when they'll be checking it. So, period comes up, swell comes up, and it's already kind of on the cusp now. I guess if it was cleaner, if the direction was a little bit better, the size wouldn't be such an issue. But because of the more westerly direction, it's not as clean as it's been in the.
Now,
you know.
Mike, what kind of swell direction does Gringo like? Is it a little bit more southwest in it?
Yeah, a little bit more south. You know, this swell is pretty southwest, so or southwest. I think it's just straight southwest, and so ideally you want a more south direction swell. So here we are looking at the sets. These guys are ready to head out there in about 5 minutes. Well, actually 7 minutes away to start.
No,
and
it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Mike, we have some questions coming in on our Facebook page, and James Weller wants to ask, Mike, did you think you would still be competing at this level at this stage?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's kind of weird, you know. It's really exciting for me because this is new territory, which is I'm super excited about. But to be honest with you, when I was about 18 and I saw some of the other riders at 24 not being as competitively successful as they were when they first started, I was thinking, gosh, I only got like 5 years left in my career. So I honestly thought at that time, when I was 18, that I only had a few years left in this. And so I just tried to make the most of it, and things kind of just went from there. And, you know, I guess I've kind of always been one of the older guys that's competed, and there's no exception today. I'm still trying to do it. So, yeah, I didn't expect it, and yeah, super excited to be here. And I'm in, you know, pretty good health. Like I'm not achy. I feel strong. I think I'm in probably better shape than when I was 18.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how do you feel?
Great. I feel so good. Yeah.
It's just been a matter of just taking care of yourself.
Yeah, just, you know, like, you know, I kind of got more serious about it like about 3 or 4 years ago. And anyway, here we got the start of the heat.
Go ahead, finish what you're saying.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, about 4 years ago, I kind of took a more serious approach. I won an event in Maui without really trying to train or anything. And I made it through from trials. And I just thought, man, what if I really applied myself? And so, if nothing else, it's allowed me to continue to be active and enjoy the sport for years longer. So just a total commitment in health, like diet, exercise, a lifestyle, and yeah, so it's paid off, and I'm super amped. So yeah, it's been a great little, journey. And so
I think the ocean certainly has a lot to do with it. You know what I mean? When you're in the water every day, whether it's surfing, bodyboarding, swimming, free diving, anything. I think people who live their life in the ocean, I think it really makes a difference in their health.
yeah, I totally agree. It keeps, it's a fountain of youth. It's actually an ocean of youth. It's called the ocean.
Not only that, but I mean, I think on any level, it's just something about it that makes you feel better. You know. I mean,
Yeah,
that's one thing. If I have a hard day or a long day or I'm away from the ocean, I mean, I can literally just run down, jump in the water for 5 seconds, and you just feel better. You know?
Here we go.
First
Sergio
wave of
paddling.
the day.
This looks like a decent wave. Yeah, cool.
Finding a little barrel on the inside, bouncing around a little
in and
bit.
out. I mean, at least he's on the board. Tell you what, conditions like today, if it sets start coming in, you can get washed in. You can, just getting waves today is going to be a pretty good feat. So it's great that these guys have started up and started the action. Okay, we're in blue. Babby Quinones.
Look at this.
Nice pocket ride.
Nice posture right there.
Yeah, he's just the pocket master. Okay,
Finding
in and
a nice
out.
section.
Nice little section, not the deepest barrel, but he got a pretty much good pocket ride the whole way. Okay, now yellow. Diego Cabrera pulling in deep.
Man, all our riders getting waves here in the opening 2 minutes.
Looking for a section. Okay, nice little roll off the end bit there.
Again,
No real barrel, but a pretty good roll.
And the only person not to get a wave is Amore Laverne.
Yeah, Amore's a seasoned competitor. I mean, this guy's been world champion. He knows how to compete. He's waiting for that wave with the right look. And so right now he's trying to figure out, gosh, I hope I didn't make the wrong decision and let one of those go. But I don't think, it was, none of these rides were excellent. I think Babby probably got the best out of that exchange. We got this good stall, good cover up through here. And just kind of rode the bull the whole way. So that's a pretty good ride from Babby.
Yeah, like you said, considering the conditions out there, that's a successful ride right there, getting on the board. Tell us, Mike, even some of these guys, world-class bodyboarders, it's certainly a situation out here where these guys have to pay attention and be on top of it, because if they get caught inside, or they're in the wrong spot, they could certainly just ruin the entire heat for them, right?
Yeah, it's, wave knowledge comes in handy here. But and it's also kind of you gotta kind of throw the dice here a little bit. You have to move in on the shelf. Okay, here's a replay of Diego's wave. So wave didn't really cooperate too much with him. He's stalling for it, waiting for it to happen. He's looking for a section. Kind of gets up to it here towards the end. Went through that first part.
Finding a nice little roll. Good projection.
Yeah, nice extension. And then, in and out. So not a bad start for Diego. At least he's on the board. Kind of get the blood flowing.
Got the questions still coming in as we're waiting for some scores as well. First score that came in is a 4.75 for Sergio Luis from Brazil. Bobby Quinones coming in with a 6.25. He's going to be your early heat leader. We're still waiting for a score from Diego Cabrera, which is a 4.38. So 3 of the 4 riders up on the board. Amore Laverne, he obviously is going to have priority. He is in the red and sitting there patiently.
Yep, no. Smart. That's a good move from Babby. That's definitely a keeper. Amory's capable of getting 9s or 10s on a wave, so keep your eye out. If a good one comes in, he'll be on it now, and you'll probably see some pretty sick riding. So there you got it. Babby Quinones moves into the lead, 6.25. Sergio Luis from Brazil, 4.75. Diego Cabrera, 4.38. Those are almost going to be throwaway scores if the waves cooperate in this heat. If sets start pulsing in here again, those could be keepers.
Now, Mike, explain how, in a heat like today or waves like today, I mean, what can happen to these guys? They can get just skunked as far as the waves closing out. They can get caught inside once. That'll take up 5, 6, 7, 10 minutes maybe even. You get caught inside a couple sets. A couple other sets close out the bay.
Not to mention, having a big set come in front of you, break in front of you, snap your leash.
Yeah,
you have to come after your leash. That's probably a 10-minute process.
People think that we want the biggest waves possible, but not necessarily. I mean, when it gets up towards this size and bigger, these guys can get skunked and they're just not able to ride. Not able to ride as many waves and not able to ride as high performance. And a lot of people probably don't understand that when the waves get this big, sometimes the level of performance comes down.
Well, it's not. Yeah, Eric. I mean, like you say, it's probably less to do with the size, more to do with the conditions, more to do with the direction. Like, there's not a lot of really good open hollow ways. You know, the size is not an issue. There's, you know, I mean, you can ride. You know, this break probably gets up to about 12 feet, and right now it looks like it's about 8 feet, maybe some 10-foot sets. So on this day, you know, you can ride out here pretty big, but it's got to be the right direction and the conditions. It looks like also there's maybe a little bit of wind bump on there.
Yeah, it certainly is. And right now we have a little package for you from our tour title sponsor, which is GoPro. And we're going to have a package in just a minute for you guys from Bobby Quinones, kind of showing some of his waves and everything going on for yesterday, as well as the
yeah, Babby
trials.
got some sick shots in pipe too. It's really cool to see.
And remember, this is the third stop in the IBA GoPro World Tour. We want to thank GoPro so much for coming in and supporting the IBA World Tour with their financial contribution, as well as they're helping us get some of the best content in the world, and we're sharing that back with them.
So a little low in the action here. 23 minutes to go.
Yeah, and this is kind of what we were talking about. I mean, when it's this big, there's just, you know, these guys aren't catching as many waves just because it's the ramifications are much more serious. They're trying to pick the better shaped waves. They don't just want to take a short little wave and bust a little air, because then you can be stuck on the inside for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, and so here's a pretty big difference in strategy here. Omri being very selective. Now Omri's been a semifinalist in here. He's like the one guy you would expect to win, and he hasn't. You know, he searched this place so well. Here's Jake warming up. Or cooling down. It's pretty cool out here this morning.
You know, Mike, you know, looking at Jake Stone kind of brings a question to mind that I had for you, and I wanted to get your opinion on it. And our sport has started to come to a crossroad, as we see. Here's in red.
Omri Laverne.
Look at the size of this wave. Look at the roll section.
Nice roll section for Omri.
Right in the pocket. Perfect 360. Snapping it around. Whoa.
Whoa.
The heavy spot to bail out.
That should be pretty good. That's a good place to do a roll. That's kind of a hectic session there.
So as you guys can see, Amari Laverne with that nice roll, a quick little snap 360. And, man, it was a heavy section on the inside. And look at the size of this wave he's taking off on, Mike.
Yeah, it's a good size set. You know, he knows it's not going to be a barrel. He's looking for the section. Gets a good roll off there. He did some massive rolls yesterday too, so pretty cool to see that. I mean, I think that'll definitely give him a higher score than the other two riders. I'm not sure if it's going to be better than Babby's, but yes, it is a 7.25. So it puts Omri into the lead that quickly.
Wow,
so
great score right there.
Waiting for the wave is paying off for him.
Yeah, certainly did that time. And he has the experience and the, he's won enough events that he knows where he is, and he's confident with his patience and confident with his decisions. One more time, another replay from a different angle.
So this is a big section here. So no barrel at the beginning. He's looking for that lip. Boom, nice roll. Reconnects well.
Yeah, lands right in the pocket perfectly.
Quick spin. And then, yeah, for those of you who don't know, I mean, you know, a few feet away from that is like dry rock.
Definitely heavy.
And it's not like it's soft. That rock's hardened over centuries. It's like this big basalt, gosh, I don't know, a little mound that's out here. And it's unforgiving.
Just waiting to get you guys.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you a question, Mike. I wanted to get your opinion on. I really believe that a lot of sports are actually action sports are starting to get to this point, but bodyboarding is one of them. I think that our sport is starting to hit a crossroad, or will hit a crossroad, where the top athletes will cross over from being the best wave riders to acrobats. And at what point do you see the guys who are more acrobatic and not necessarily watermen, becoming champions and taking over?
Well, I think it's always going to be a mix. I don't think it's just going to go one way or another, unless in the future they break off and that's a different type of wave riding. But I think it's going to have to be a combination of. It's always been a combination. Just
in yellow,
for the very fact there's barrels like this we're seeing yellow in. Oh, nice wave.
Diego Cabrera.
Wow. Oh, he came out of that. Wow, that's going to be a huge score for Diego. Huge score. That was massive.
I can't believe how long he was in that barrel. Coming out of the curtain, absolutely unreal.
Yeah, he was traveling. I saw him kind of in there dark. You could see a little dark thing, and you can't rule Diego out, man. He's really good in these types of conditions from the Canary Islands. That's going to put him, you know, in a pretty good lead right now.
I can't wait to see that replay. That barrel was, I mean, the amount of time
That was
we
a
traveled
long
in there.
barrel.
Check out the replay from Ren and our
Scoops
crew
in
here
there,
in the TV
great.
room.
Gets a good line, and from that point on, he is just in there traveling. So you can kind of see a little yellow. That was a great barrel. Wow, made it all the way to that end
Unreal.
section, came out through the whitewater part, claiming it.
He should.
Yeah, absolutely. That was awesome. That's got to be, I don't know, I'm not going to judge that one, but that's got to be pretty sick. Okay,
Here we go. In white, this is Sergio Luis, the rider from Brazil.
Nice roll. So he's got his own version of, he's got his own version of
Man, some sizable peaks out there.
yeah. That was a good wave from Sergio. Nice extension. And Babby Quinones.
Oh, we must have
Replay of
missed
his
away
wave.
from him.
Okay. Yeah, pretty good extension
Yes.
there. There wasn't really much of a lip, but he still was able to kind of get a pretty decent extension on that roll. You know, man, these guys are hungry and they're going to do whatever it takes to try to get through this heat. It's pretty exciting.
Now we see the replay.
Okay,
Of
here's the replay
Sergio.
of Sergio. So huge,
Great
big
timing on the roll as
extended
far
roll, yeah.
as far as where he hit the lip and
Yeah,
when he hit the
yeah,
lip.
Yeah.
I don't think he should be so
Yeah,
let down.
It's pretty funny.
And Diego
Oh,
Cabrera, look at that, big
9.38,
9.38 on his second wave, putting him at 13.76.
So this is going to make things really interesting here.
Sergio Luis with a 6.88 on his second wave, and I mean he looked a little bit dejected at the end of that wave as you saw his gesture right there. But man, I thought the roll was pretty good, threw a 360 in there.
Yeah,
and we also have a score for Bobby Quinones, his second wave, 5.95. So Amore now.
Sick.
Look
Oh,
at this.
Sick wave. Okay, bottom turns around the first section. Nice big roll. You know, it's just consistent surfing like this. It's going to get him through, you know.
Man, almost like
That
the
was
same wave
sick.
he had the first time. A nice big roll into a quick 360, and it's pretty much been the combo these guys are throwing here on these
sick.
big lefts.
Clean riding from Omri, rider from Reunion Islands.
Once again, Eric Apple joined by 9-time world champion Mike Stewart here at the GoPro IBA Arica Chilean Challenge presented by Municipalidad de Arica and Tomate Surf Shop. And
So
look at
bottom
this.
turns around the first section, kind of stalls it, and then he just looks for that lip. Nice.
And you see him, you saw him spot his landing
Yeah, he was
before
kinda
he
just-
rolled.
That's how he is. He's a calculated rider, and when he does things, he's like it's with intention. You know, it's not. He just doesn't just throw it out there. Everything's technical.
Here it
and-
is.
Yeah, 7.88. So a little bit bigger than his last one, and yep.
So Diego Cabrera in second place, a rider from the Canary Islands, only needs a 5.75. Bobby Quinones needs a 7.52, and Sergio Luis needs a 6.89.
So things are heating up here. This will put the pressure on Babby, and Diego for sure is going to want to, you know, extend his lead because with Babby on his tail. Babby still, you know, he needs a pretty big score, 7.52, and he hasn't gotten that yet. So
Yeah, but we're not even halfway through the first heat of our day here in our second round of the men's GSS event. And remember, fans, this is an elimination round. Third and fourth place in these heats is going home. First and second will move on to the third round to compete against the winners of round number one.
yeah, I wanted to give a quick shout out to Owen Pye, and good luck with his new book. It's called Boogie Legends of Bodyboarding. Born to Boogie, Legends of Bodyboarding. And so if you want to learn about the history of bodyboarding, check it out. You probably do a Google search for Born to Boogie, Legends of Bodyboarding. It's a hard book that he's been working on for a while, and he does great work. So it's probably a really nice piece of writing and pictorial history of bodyboarding.
It's got to be pretty cool to be immortalized in literature, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, it's super cool. Yeah, what can I say? But nowadays, man, you immortalize electrons on the internet.
Okay, so while we have a chance between these waves, I don't know if we have a set coming behind this wave, but that's a nice looking left right there. Not much of a bowl, but good peak. We do have that GoPro package of Bobby Quinones ready to roll. Let's check it out. Let's see what he did yesterday, Mike.
It should be good to watch.
I mean, the barrel's just perfectly round. Not quite the watercolor that we had at the South Coast Crusade, but man, big barrel, spitting.
Oh, that was sick.
Definitely, look at this, still in the barrel. Wow.
Wow, nice. Oh, how this double barrel.
Yeah, Bobby's riding the
Go
barrel
for a
really
roll.
good
Look,
here today.
Here goes the roll. Pew! That's so cool.
Yeah, Bobby riding the barrel really, really good out here at El Gringo. Definitely has it figured out, I'd say, on the lefts for sure.
Yeah, well, he's been here for a month. He's taken his approach to bodyboarding to another level. He's super serious. And so he said, hey, he's committed, trying to do well in this event. So he's been down here a month prior to this event starting, which is a long time to be here and learning and figuring out this wave. So let's see if it pays off. He's made it to round 2, Heat 10 of the IBA World Tour.
Yeah,
Arica.
coming up in our next heat, just so you guys are aware, Alan Espinoza, Roberto Bruno, Jake Stone, Alberto Colucci. Heat number 4 of the second round will be Lachlan Cramsey, Uri Valadao, Matias Diaz, and Ryan Hardy. So still some big names to come here in the second round, and some names that you wouldn't necessarily expect to see in the elimination round here, round number 2. As we see our riders paddling out for the set, Mike.
Yeah, looks like a bombing set's coming in. This one looks like it's kind of out of a little more the west. So yeah, and yeah, you really want to make it through that first heat. Oh, here's Omri. It looks like he's up,
Nope.
in and out. If he had priority, he'll lose it.
He had a look at that one. He thought better of it, but we know with all of his experience, we'll have to trust his judgment.
Yeah.
All these questions still pouring in on the Facebook page. I see a lot of our fans asking if you've been to their area, Mike. I mean, and some of them are places that are pretty obvious that you've been to. Andrew McFarlane asked, "Have you ever been to Queensland?"
Queensland, Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, what's your favorite wave in Queensland, Mike?
Gosh, South Stratty's pretty good. Maybe that would be my favorite break. Or D-Boss fun. There's actually quite a few waves up there. There's just depends on its day. I guess on its best day, Superbank is pretty amazing.
And Jack McKenna wants to know, Mike, at what age did you start taking bodyboarding seriously, like as a career?
Well, there wasn't really anything when I was younger. Contests just started happening when I was about 17, 18, and there was none in where I lived, so I couldn't.
Well, they had to wait for electricity first, right?
Yeah, we had to leave the cave and get our clubs and head out there amongst the other cave people.
Have I known you long enough I can get away with that one?
For sure. And anyway, yeah, I guess it was about 18 or 19 when I went to the first event.
Another question that I see Guy has for you is, Mike, what have you found to be an effective out-of-water training routine for bodyboarding? And as an athlete myself, one thing I've certainly learned that there's no better way to train for a sport than to do that specific sport.
Yep.
So, I mean, the best way to get in shape to surf or bodyboard is to surf or bodyboard. So,
Yep.
Is there other things that have crossed over as far as
for
that
sure.
work good for you?
For sure. I like sparring with Eric Apple. That's good for kind of that fight or flight syndrome. No. I do a specific core program, and I've got a program initially from Paul Czech and from the Czech Institute, and JP Sears is another guy that helps me out, and so anyone who wants to kind of get in great shape, I can't say enough. You know, the thing to probably do is there's a book out there from Paul Chek called How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy. And man, get that book. It's like a Bible or a manual, human manual. That's a good way to put it on health.
Yeah, tell me about Paul Chek.
Yeah, awesome. You know, very just a genius of a guy, and really forward-thinking, really progressive, and just gosh knows the human body probably better than anyone that I've ever come to know or learn about.
And what is his background, Mike?
Yeah, he's kind of a self-taught genius in my book. I mean, he's just, you know,
is he a nutritionist? Is he a kinesiologist?
He's so well read. He's just one of these kind of guys that can just retain everything he reads. So he reads everything and just retains it all. And yeah, just, you know, I don't know. It's just too rich to kind of like explain in one sitting here. But you know, if you start looking into it, you'll find that the guy is kind of next level in a lot of ways. He's so knowledgeable about every aspect of human beings.
And is he a guy that's in Hawaii, or is he on the mainland?
Yeah, he's in the mainland, and he basically just does seminars now. He's not doing personal training. My wife got me in there to see him, which was pretty cool. But my wife's pretty good like that. She gets stuff done.
She wants you to stay healthy, so you can stay out of the house.
Yeah.
She wants you to go surf, leave me alone.
Yeah, she actually trains. She's a trainer as well. She trains Carissa Moore, the title contender this year.
For sure.
And so she's really good. She keeps me in shape, basically.
Well, great information and great answers, Mike. As we head down and do about 7.5 minutes to go here in heat number 10. This is the second heat of round number 2. Again, Amore Laverne is in the lead with a 7.2 and a 7.8. Diego Cabrera has a 9.3 and a 4.3 to get rid of. Bobby Quinones in third. Sergio Luis in fourth. Still looking at some of the questions over here. Isaac Dawson wants to know, has chasing waves all your life ever gotten monotonous? Do you ever get tired of
well,
this?
Sometimes the travel can be really grueling, but you know, every wave is, I mean, you know, if you're a wave rider, it's like special. You know, you go out there and it's every single wave is a different little pulse of energy, and it's a different experience.
It's like a different person.
Yeah, and there's so many variables to, it's just so rich and, you know, gosh, it's just such a, I don't know, hard to explain, I guess.
Jonathan Reed wants
a lot to it, you know. There's wind, there's watercolor, there's, you know, there's surface temperature, there's, you know, there's so many variables, and so every session you go is different, and so it's never gets boring. That's for sure.
Jonathan Reed wants to know a little bit about your cinematography and the stuff you've done, and I know that you know you've had some really large projects over the years, and tell the current fans of bodyboarding, you know, guys that may not have been around in like the '90s or early '90s, and who know about some of the projects you worked on.
Yeah, well, I've been working with cameras and POV stuff for a long time. I mean, I think if you open up like the first or second issue of Bodyboarding magazine, you'll see a shot of me with a camera helmet on. I mean, I've been doing it for a while. But I'd say ever since the movie Blue Crush is when I really started to get more into camera operating. And I mean, on that project, it was kind of a cool situation. I didn't mean to be an operator, but they needed an operator. And I raised my hand, and they said, okay, and I gave it a shot. I took it out the pipe, and I got them actually some really good shots. They're stoked, and it kind of expanded from there. So that's kind of where it started. And since then, I've worked with Don King, who's one of the premier water guys in the world, and he'll hire me to get kind of some critical shots sometimes if it's in big surf or they want POVs in the barrel or. Okay, we got White up and riding.
That is Sergio Luis from Brazil.
Sergio Luis needs something big here.
He's in fourth place. Finds a nice little barrel again.
Pocket.
So, and tell us about, once the video world or the film world switched over to the digital playing field, it really just changed the game as far as size of the camera and all that stuff. As we see this replay.
Yeah, so he's got a pretty good line here, but not a real deep barrel. He does get covered up, but not one of the better waves of the Heat for sure. So I'm not sure if this will better his cause or not, but he's yeah. So
4
he's got
minutes
a
to go.
4.55. He doesn't need much though. 6.89. There's not a lot of time here. You know, anything can happen in these last 4 minutes. But yeah, getting back to the digital thing, I mean, gosh, now you strap a GoPro on your back and
anybody and everybody can do it.
And the quality is pretty darn good, and so it's changed things a lot. But
yeah, it's completely changed its playing field, right?
There's still high-end cameras. You know, I just got hired recently from the BBC to shoot this thing in Africa, and it was the camera I think was like a few $100,000. It was a really expensive high-end camera. We got some just amazing shots. So.
Was that the Red Edit it's called? Or the red,
well, no,
red
it was like a Phantom Flex.
Oh, the
camera.
Phantom. Okay, yeah.
And so there's still opportunity to pilot high-end cameras in critical waves. So I've been hired. Last 2 jobs I got hired were for digital formats. You know, I got hired by Apple Computer to do this thing for Final Cut, and then just recently for the BBC. So.
And tell me, and the Phantom camera, how heavy is it?
It's pretty heavy. You know, it's like probably the best way to describe it is like a small appliance. It's about, I don't know, maybe like 40 pounds or something.
Wow.
And yeah, putting the thing on your board. Oh, this could be a good way for Omri.
Omri Laverne. He is your Heat leader, but no, look at this in yellow. Diego Cabrera.
Okay, this could be a good wave for Diego. If he gets a good wave out of this, he could move to the lead here.
Got a little bit covered up in the white water.
A little bit
not
mushy.
Too much.
Okay, that's. Yeah.
Remember, he's trying to improve upon a 4.38. And Sergio
Babby
Luis.
needing a big score here. Babby needing a.
Sergio Luis on that last wave, Mike, got a 4.55, so
yeah.
he did not improve on his 4.75.
He still needs a 6.89 to advance.
Take a look at the replay. Dropping in here, Alberto.
Okay, we got a great wave that just went down, and yeah, we'll see how see the replay on this. Okay, this is what just happened while we were showing you the replay. Okay. Guess Omri just paddled out. Ooh, okay, this could be this. Okay, it's huge for Babby Quinones.
Big set wave, driving in that barrel.
Okay.
Covering a lot of ground right there. Barely ducking out.
Yeah,
not quite in there not in there for a real long time, but the size of the wave was great.
He needed a big score there, and I'm not sure if he's going to get it. We'll see. It's going to be close. So Omri Laverne kind of taking the strategy of just like 2 7s, and this is how this guy just gets through heats, time and time again. Going big when he gets a section, finding those sections. And
I'm already asking for the situation.
Diego only getting a 2.63 for his last wave, so that hasn't helped his either. So a minute to go.
Man, so Omri Laverne first place, Diego Cabrera second. Babby Quinones needs a 7.52. Sergio Luis needs a 6.89.
Okay, so it's going to get down to these 50 seconds.
Look at that wave just exploding. Like some real sets coming through, Mike.
Oh, yeah, big west set coming in.
And with a set like this coming through, I mean, people think, oh, there's just a minute to go, that the riders want to see a set, but it's almost the opposite today. These guys almost want to kind of catch the in-between waves.
Yeah, that's right. The biggest waves today aren't necessarily the better ones. There is a couple good big ones, but
yeah, there's some clean sets coming through now and then,
but
a lot of them are washing through.
The smaller waves seem to be kind of the higher scoring potential.
Riders paddling over the back, so it looks like no one's going to be able to get a wave here in the last 5 seconds. So Omri Laverne is going to advance on to round number 3 with Diego Cabrera. That means Babby Quinones and Sergio Luis, the Brazilian and the Puerto Rican, are going to be headed home, Mike. And it's unfortunate to see Babby Quinones